Welcome back to another episode of Two Drunk Guys in a Football Podcast. I am your host, Marcus D. Hammer Marion.
And I am your other co-host, Skinny Domestic. We got a good episode today. Great episode. Some say the best episode.
Some would say the best.
Yeah, of course, you know, our news from last week, both college, NFL, whatever. Our bad betting, we turned it around last week a little bit, so on the up and up there. Of course, our random rumblings. This week we're going to do surprises through week 5 in the NFL, so just whatever surprises we have. We'll cover all of them, clearly, but some of the top ones. Then lastly, of course, our into the future pick'ems for college. Looking next week for all that. Nothing too crazy this week. Nice and easy episode. So, you know, just to get started, Marcus, what do we got for news?
Well, let me look at the old tablet over here. We could start out with Rashid Rice out for the rest of the season. LCL injury. I know.
That 3 leagues had him in.
My little criminal's out for the season. It's so sad.
When they were like, oh, there's optimism and all this, I was like, please.
It was the best times and also the worst times of my life.
Well, and then from a standpoint for the Chiefs, you might not have him for part of the season next year, due with his criminal stuff. So, you know, who knows what we'll get out of Rashid Rice in the next year and a half, almost 2 years, by the time he's back playing again.
It wasn't good.
I guess a year, not 2 years.
There hasn't really been that much crazy stuff. Packers did suspend Romeo Doubs last Sunday for misconduct. That's not huge news, but that's kind of big-ish news. He didn't play against who'd they play? Rams. He didn't play against the Rams. He was missing games. He was unhappy with his role, which it's kind of in the Tucker Kraft and freaking Jaden Reed show. So I don't know if he thinks he's better.
Listening to the radio last week, I want to say it was Thursday or Friday, after the pod had been released. I want to say it was Friday because that's when they actually officially suspended him, I think. And they were talking about it, and Plexico Burress was on, and he's like, you have to realize there's 50, 60 attempts in a game, or 50 or 60 offensive plays in a game, right? And he's like, you have a running back that could easily take 30 of those plays type thing, and then you have to dial it down to, okay, the other 20 to 30 are split up between
5 guys, maybe
5 guys. You may not throw the ball, you may run the ball. You don't let's say 3 or 4 rushes depending on your quarterback. You get your running back 2 to 3 maybe. I know Josh Jacobs is.
Think about it. If a receiver gets 10 targets, it's a lot of targets.
Yeah, it is.
It is, honestly. I'm not gonna lie to you. As someone that's played receiver my whole, or receiver tight end. That's a hard role. That's why you get the diva-ish kind of play mentality out of there, because you are so handicapped to what that offense can do, what that quarterback's ability is. You don't really have control. Like a running back touches the ball so freaking much, it doesn't matter. They can kind of, even if look at Breece Hall last year, offensive line was atrocious. Still was a superstar in the NFL last year. Catching passes and rushing for 3.2 yards a carry. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he still was very viable in fantasy and in real football. He was their star of their team. Garrett Wilson, on the other hand, bad quarterback, still went over 1,000 yards, great talent, but he just didn't. I think, is Garrett Wilson better than Breece Hall? Maybe, maybe not, but still, they could be just as good of players. You just don't know because the quarterback play or the offensive line play to get that. Like, there could be so many things that go wrong in one play just for the wide receiver. So I understand Romeo Doubs a little bit. Yeah. That is hard to go out there and not get the attention, especially once a team's pretty decent team. they're humming. I mean, the offense looks good.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Supposed to be back this week. I guess they had talks. It was good talks, so should be back for week 6 to play.
Yeah, I just got it in. Breaking news: Derek Carr week to week with oblique injury. So
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see. That's a big deal for the Saints. They looked atrocious against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs do have a good-ish defense, good pass rush at least.
think
Pass defense is
they looked atrocious, and they still only lost by like a touchdown. Like it's
no, they lost by more. They lost by it was 24 to 13.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what they do for quarterback because they brought in that Heitner, whatever. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah, but what about Rattler? That's why I was
Yeah.
excited to see some Rattler, but
Yeah,
he did not
we'll see.
play.
Right now, I think it's projected that Carr's not gonna play, but could take a turn. I don't know. It seems like Carr every year now is getting hurt with that midsection injury because he takes some abuse.
Also, Robert Saleh was fired yesterday. Rip. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of he's only been a head coach for what 3 years. Last year, you got to kind of scratch that year that didn't really do it, and it's week 6. We're going into week 6. I don't know if I agree with that move. There was underlying stuff with Rodgers, like you could tell that he said some things and he wasn't happy, like when Saleh was talking about looking at the snap. I didn't know if you heard that, where he was talking about false starts, and he's like, "Well, it's something we'll have to look into, and maybe we'll have the cadence switched up." And then Rodgers like, "That's one way to look at it, but we could also hold people accountable." And I was like, "Well, that's not a good look, Rodgers. Like, Rodgers is obviously not happy with you."
Yeah.
I agree with Rodgers, like, do your job, but team's been disappointing. I mean, they did come back and win by less or lose by less than what a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings. If they would have scored, they probably would have won that game.
Yeah,
So
if Rodgers doesn't throw 3 picks, they potentially win the game. If he only throws 1 pick, they might even win by more than just a little. Like if
Minnesota,
it was.
So Minnesota had a touchdown. Did they score the rest in field goals?
What it was?
I don't remember anyone else
24-17.
scoring a touchdown. Yeah, who else scored a touchdown? So they had a touchdown, and then they had to have scored another touchdown.
Pick 6.
No, I know, pick 6. I don't know who
Yeah.
scored another touchdown on that team. Unless Chandler scored one.
Was it?
Darnold had no passing touchdowns.
I don't remember.
I really don't know how that happened. I'm trying to think, because I watched part of it, but
Let me go look.
yeah, see.
But yeah, just like then they lose by 1 to the Broncos. It was shitty conditions, but they still
Did
not look good.
Well, Breece Hall. What happened to Breece Hall?
What do you mean?
Breece Hall has been extremely inefficient, not good. Like I'll read you these numbers. I mean, granted, Braylon Edwards or it's not Braylon Edwards. Is it?
CJ Ham had a 2-yard rush.
Oh, that's right. Ham got in there. I was like, then the rest were field goals. Let me look at Sleeper. Can I just tell you, Sleeper is starting to be my favorite app for stats.
Really?
Because you can actually go into the players and look at what they did. And like one thing that I think is very interesting for fantasy football that isn't talked about enough is their snap share. So Breece Hall this year, week 1, 82% of the snaps. And then he went 72, 71, 69, 74. So he still has 3/4 of the snaps. He went the week before 10 touches for 4 yards, 5 targets for 2 receptions and 14 yards. And last week he went 9 rushes for 23 yards, 4 targets for 3 catches for 14 yards. What is going on with Breece Hall?
Dude, he's averaging 3 yards a carry.
I mean, granted, San Francisco, that's a decently hard run defense. Tennessee has a good defensive line, so I could see that. New England, hard defense.
Like, yeah, it's not like he didn't play any. The other one, too, is let's look at the scores of those games. I mean, Jets schedule. You look at the scores. You know, the Vikings, they played from behind the whole time. The Broncos and Jets game, I'm surprised the game they didn't run more because it was so bad. Like, did you see that throw of Bo Nix where because of how wet and bad the wind and stuff were, it was a terrible throw? How are you not running the ball? The Jets destroyed the Patriots. Then they beat the Titans, and then they were down bad against the 49ers. I mean, two of those games you've got to play catch up, while the other one it's a very close game. I think.
I mean, in Braylon Edwards, it might just be one of those things that I see him on the field all the time. He hasn't been crazy good.
Braylon Allen, yeah, I think
Braylon Allen.
I think with the Robert Saleh fire, it is shocking. But allegedly, too, there was some talk that he was going to look at firing Nathaniel Hackett and blame him for the offensive issues. But as a Jets owner, who does Rodgers have chemistry with or a history with? Nathaniel Hackett. You're going to keep a guy that's going to make Rodgers happy. But I think it's still a little too early to be firing coaches. But
I think so too. Well, in part of their woes has been the receivers have not been on the same schedule as Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like, Garrett Wilson's a fine receiver, and he got 23 targets. It took him 23 targets to only have, he had a lot of points. I mean, he ended up with what?
29 fantasy points, I think.
29 fantasy points, but 23 targets is unheard of.
Yeah. Well, and you watch those games.
They only have 13 catches on
and you look at those games, and it's like Rodgers expected you to break a deep post, an out route 7 yards, and he's throwing, or he expects you to go 5 and you're running 7, so then the throw is already off there. Like, a lot of that, just small little miscues between him and Garrett Wilson, but
I think will get better throughout the season. But I mean, then you look at Allen Lazard, who's doing what Rodgers wants. Allen Lazard is trash, man. He cannot catch a pass. I don't know what happened to Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard in Green Bay was a very fine-tuned receiver. Why can Allen Lazard not catch anymore? Is it because he's the second receiver now and they don't have to worry about Devontae Adams? Or what?
I don't know. But
getting Devontae Adams is not going to fix this team, by the way. I want to point that out.
Well, because you're going to have to trade one of those wide receivers anyway if you do.
And here's the thing: to trade a first-round pick, it's too bad that Minnesota has things like we got J.J. McCarthy, because it is setting up perfectly for Rodgers to be a Minnesota Viking.
Yeah. With the Jets, though, their defensive coordinator is now their interim head coach. In the meantime,
I don't think it changes anything.
No,
I really don't think that.
Nothing.
Firing Robert Saleh.
Sure, they might win games, but it's not going to be because you fired Robert Saleh. It's going to be because your team's finally getting on the same page.
It's terrible. And the first Arab head coach, dude.
You're also sitting here with, what the fuck are you going to do with Hassan Reddick? You were expected to take Bryce Huff off your team and replace him
Reddick's
with.
Played, hasn't he?
No, he has not played. He has not done anything with the team.
Still?
Yeah.
He's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So you traded for an older guy, but better than Bryce Huff, and you lost that value. Like, Will McDonald's played out of his mind because of it, because nobody's there to really, like, he's what?
Yeah, he's played good.
He's 6 sacks, half a sack out of the top number 1 sack leader spot, I think. But
yeah,
you have Hassan Reddick. Your defense is just even better with that, but. Yeah, the Jets will turn it around. I'm going to imagine their defense is very good, and this is why you play.
Division up for
division
open.
And it's still open. So they're 2-3. So they're not. It's not like they're.
I think they're tied for the division, aren't they?
Or maybe, or they're one game back.
The Bills lost last week, and I think they lost the week before because they got shut out by someone that wasn't that crazy. I think the Bills are 2-3, 3-2.
Yeah, Bills are 3-2. Jets are 2-3. So yeah,
so they're a game away from it, and they play them next week or something like that.
Yeah, they play them this week. Yeah, so
this is a, if you're worried about, if this is a buy low and sell high week for what's the face? Right now, it's buy low on Brees Hall, and after this week, it'll be a sell high because I think that they'll be able to run the ball against Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree.
Not that that matters, but and let me look back at my news. Sorry, I got us off track. I can't help it. I can't help it, Skinny. Christian Wilkins is out indefinitely after undergoing a repair on a Jones fracture he suffered Sunday.
Dude, I was looking
so that
forward.
sucks for the Raiders.
Yeah, that Raiders line I was looking forward to see all year, but now Max Crosby can just eat a little bit more, I guess.
He will. Also, what's his face is out for at least 2 weeks. Brandon Cooks he had an infection in his knee somehow.
Well, he's on the IR now, so.
So at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, at least 4. So, well, this was before last week's game, so he's 3 more games that he'll miss. But that just means Jake Ferguson and CeeDee Lamb are gonna eat, and you'll get the Turpin and those guys in there too. Tolbert, what's his last name?
Tolbert looks interesting.
Yeah.
Jalen Tolbert. And then the other thing I saw, do you want to talk about our trades now in fantasy?
Well,
Should we talk about that?
I got some news that we can.
Oh, okay, you tell that, and then after that we'll talk.
College news: Florida State DJ Ugalawule, the quarterback.
Yeah, Ugalawule, my favorite.
He's gonna miss some time with a broken finger. Florida State might be the better for him because he has not been good.
Is it on his throwing hand?
I think so.
He's
not been good. Nico Collins is on the IR.
Oof.
It's time for Stephon Diggs to step up. And then
He's been good. Wide receiver 9.
Drake May sounds like will be starting.
Saw that.
This week against the Texans. Aiden O'Connell for the Raiders will be starting this week too. Gardner Minshew's getting benched there. The Eagles released Devin White, which I don't get. Like, did Devin White fall off that hard at linebacker? He's only 26 still. Yes. He's a former Pro Bowl linebacker. I don't know. He didn't play. He was a healthy scratch every week. I don't know. Jabril Peppers has been added to the commissioner exempt list, which is bullshit. I know what he did was wrong, but
what did he do? I can't remember.
Beat up his girlfriend, strangled her, some crazy shit. But it's bullshit because.
So the motherfucker's worried about his head wearing a Guardian cap, but over there beating his girlfriend. He lives a very safe lifestyle on the field, but once he comes off the field, he's like, you put my goddamn fucking chinos in with the fucking colored.
It's because he wants to be he's got to be in the right state of mind when he's beating up on his girlfriend.
I guess so. Jesus Christ.
But it's bullshit because you have dudes like Rashee Rice and other players doing stupid shit that you're not waiting for the actual investigation to be done.
Rashee Rice never beat up his girlfriend. He beat up someone else.
Okay.
And Rashee Rice just drove a car fast. Domestic violence is violent, Skinny. We don't appreciate that. Okay. I don't condone that on the podcast. Apparently, like you do.
What?
I don't. I don't condone domestic violence. I'll tell you one thing, but I like driving fast, and you know what? Who did Rashee Rice hit again? I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. But why the fuck does Von Miller not get put on this last year? Why does he get to play the full season and wait? See,
I thought he got suspended a couple games
this year.
Yeah, but they're always behind.
Exactly. Roger Goodell. This is bullshit. It's bullshit. You either do it at the time or you wait until everything's panned out. Stupid as fuck. Lastly, the news that I have is we won the regular season in our flag.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Fucking came out destroying. So we're back to back. Just call us the.
We get T-shirts for that too, Skinny. Two T-shirts.
I asked if we could get red T-shirts instead of blue this year.
Yeah, we won it. I hurt my knee again, but then almost started a fight on the sideline.
Yeah, it's a team that we play that they like to talk shit, but if they lose, you can't.
It's our
do
rival.
That. Yeah,
It is our
rival.
Super Bowl. Anytime we play them, it is our Super Bowl.
Well,
And they don't take us seriously, but we have better athletes than them though. I think they're just have been playing a long time together. In flag football, you part of it is being a smart flag football player can get you pretty far in the league, I would say.
yeah, I'm the most unathletic dude on the field 90% of the time, and I'm probably
No,
like,
you're a crazy athlete.
shut the hell up. No,
You're a
you just
crazy
got to be
athlete.
smart. You got to know what's going on. Like literally, whenever Phil calls like anything for you guys on the left hand side, and I know it's not coming to the right side, and he calls like a drag or a slant to the receiver on the right, I'm like, that right hand side's gonna be fucking wide open every day.
So you just come out.
I'm popping my guy a second or two, and I'm fucking leaking because that's open
To the field, yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Or if I'm getting tired and I don't want to fucking run, I'll be like, hey, send the center that way, and it's there.
You know what I am in that league? I'm the Travis Kelce to Phil.
Yeah.
I kind of find the zones, kind of sit in them, and then do that a little bit. I don't really run. I run routes like I know how to run routes, but I kind of get to run whatever I want. He gives me a lot of like leeway with what I run.
Yeah. Yeah, my leeway. I run whatever, just
Skinny does whatever he wants to.
pretty much.
Okay, now let's talk about our trades.
Oh, jeez.
First of all, I'm looking at a trade. I'm name dropping. Little Austin, he learned a lot from last week's podcast. He's over here trying to trade me Devontae Adams for freaking Chase Brown and Jamison Williams. I've never seen a trade so bad on the ESPN IBM Watson trade analyzer.
It's a 2.
Well, the overall value was 2 to freaking 100 is what I got. So after this podcast, I hope all of you that watch the podcast, it was a shark podcast because I'm a shark. Anyway, we were watching it, and there is a fellow person in our podcast, or not in our podcast, in our fantasy league that always hates on every trade that I make and say it's a shark. Well, I ended up we had someone in our league that was upset with Bijan Robinson. So I'm like, what do you want for Bijan Robinson? I love Bijan Robinson. So he trades. He's like, okay, I want Isaiah Pacheco and Stevenson. I'm like, okay, sold. Stevenson and Bijan Robinson have been about the same, and Isaiah Pacheco is injured, but will come back probably week 10 to 12, probably more than likely. If he does come back, who knows? You never know with injuries, but that's what they're saying. In November, he'll be back. So I'm like, perfect. This is great. This is what I love to see. I'm getting a player that, what do I look for? I look for underperforming players with a lot of talent. He's an underperforming player with a lot of talent.
Marcus only makes trade that he wins by a large margin.
That I think I win, yes. Dude,
no,
I trade to win.
By a large margin. It's not.
I trade to win. I don't make these petty trades. I like to make 2-for-1 trades where I'm just trading 2 players. What can I say? It is what it is. It wasn't an unfair trade. It really wasn't. It could be an unfair trade, but then if it goes the other way, then no one's going to say it's an unfair trade if I get fucked.
No, you do get fucked, and it's a yeah. Moving on, but let's move on about
said person that was complaining about my trade made probably the worst fantasy trade I've seen ever in our league, in any league I've been in.
Yeah.
So we had. I would like people to comment. First of all, I want to know about my Bijan Robinson. If anyone watches this, if anyone gets to that point, I want to hear what people think about the Bijan Robinson trade. Tell me if that's fair, unfair. If I won, if I lost, whatever. If you would veto it, I want to know all that. Well, this next trade was Wan'Dale Robinson and Jonathan Brooks. Who Jonathan Brooks is a rookie, has not played yet, on IR start the season, towards ACL in college, and Wan'Dale Robinson, who's been a nice piece, for, who was it? Rashid Shaheed, who is also probably Wan'Dale Robinson type player, so that's fair. And then Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey. So we're talking about the consensus number one overall player in fantasy who just so happened to have microscopic tears, who might play, might not play, but still, if he plays week 12 to week 17, that's a steal. That's the best trade of all time for that person. We'll see though. He might not play though. So to be fair, that could really preference it. He might not play ever.
But an injured CMC is still more valuable than an injured Jonathan Brooks. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
1,000%.
Like, that's like me taking Rashee Rice before the news of him being out and being like, Rashee Rice is still worth a top 20. We have no idea what's going to happen with him yet. Like, I expect great value from this. Like, that's not going to happen.
No, I agree.
Anybody on our
So you have that, and then on top of it, said manager that traded the CMC trade, which okay, I get getting rid of him. You probably could have got a little more than that. I mean, come on. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson at that point, like, at least you're getting a starting running back who was benched. As I said, I called it out on this podcast.
Hey, he was still benched.
He was benched.
He was benched. He was.
Guess what?
Was he the
Barely.
Was he the starter?
Okay, he wasn't the starter, but was he the starter? Yes. Any Hoosier, was he the lead back? Yes. Any Hoosier, and then on top of this, the same said manager drops. Who was it?
C.J. Stroud.
Was it a top 12 quarterback? C.J. Stroud
doesn't drop Brock Purdy. I wouldn't
drop Baker Mayfield,
which I wouldn't drop
still,
Baker.
Baker Mayfield.
I wouldn't
that's
drop
something.
Baker.
But C.J. Stroud, a top 12 quarterback, and then who was it? The same manager that did this. This is blasphemy. I just want to say this. This is crazy.
And then, so the guy that trades for CMC has the highest waiver and gets C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, in a sense, that trade turned into CMC, C.J. Stroud, and Shaheed for injured rookie Jonathan Brooks and Wandale Robinson, who won't be that much fantasy relevant once Neighbors comes back. He'll still be there, but it's not going to be the same.
As you know, people who live in glass houses shall not throw stones. I live in a glass house. I know what I am. I said it to you guys all. I put down the blueprint on the podcast last week. I know what I am. But, in the same breath, if there was ever a trade that probably should have been vetoed, it probably was that one. But I'm a never veto guy because I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
If someone's going to do it, unless they're actually cheating, like, I don't know. It's a hard one. You know what I mean?
Well, and then the said person that trades CMC says that waiver wire sucks when it's an 18 roster spot, but then goes and drops guys like C.J. Stroud, who gives people good waiver wire pickups. Whatever. I'm not.
Same manager though. Same manager sent me a trade today. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh gosh.
I was hoping it'd be for Chris Olave. No, God, dude. People don't know my trades at all.
What was he asking for? I want to know what the hell this was.
The thought process on it?
Yes.
He wanted... I don't even know why he would think I'd trade this. Deontay Johnson and Rico Dowdle for David Njoku and Rashad White.
Yeah, See, it doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
Yeah, why would I accept that? I'm going to decline that.
But speaking of Sharks, Austin after last week is getting a little overhyped with that, thinking that he can shark people now because he sends that to Marcus, sends Nico Collins and some like third string backup running back to my wife for Saquon Barkley. I'm like, what is? We got him overconfident now. Now he's thinking too much. He even told me in the group. He texted me because he thought I was colluding with Courtney over it. Which again, I'm not. She's a big girl. She can make her own decisions. She's been in the league long enough. Fuck, she's got 2 rings. He was like, I'm gonna shark somebody to trade Nico Collins, and I'm like, good luck with that. No one's gonna fucking touch him. He's out for 4 weeks.
The key to trading, though, Skinny, is, and I think you know this, you have to put the feelers out there. You have to ask people about players, and like, there's a couple players that know that. You do that sometimes. Your dad does it. Sorry, excuse me. If I ask him, sorry, I'm burpy, dude. This freaking younglings is getting to me.
Well, clearly, if he's trading White, we can get White for pretty cheap now.
Yeah, well, I just
if I can get Jerome Ford off my team, I'll get Jerome Ford off my team.
That might be the most fair trade you could ever do because you're gonna get him off your team and you're gonna have Jerome Ford 2.0 on your team because they're the same exact freaking player.
I'm gonna send it to him right now.
Do you think he takes it?
I don't know. We'll see.
I was really hoping no one would give up Jerome Ford. I was really hoping that like it'd be one of those things where you have to hold on to him forever.
No, I can't. I got rid of him. I got rid of him in your league, so it's okay. But yeah, fantasy this last week has been a fun time.
It was. So I was telling Skinny, I was like, because it was kind of it always seems like it's been that like people won't trade and then there'll be a big trade and then everyone gets pissed off. It's kind of how your league is.
The trades that go through, or people complain about trades not being fair, but then the only trades that go through are like CMC for fucking Jonathan. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I had to get rid of the veto thing because people were just vetoing trades last year just to veto them, so then they weren't going through.
People are vetoing my trades because I am public enemy number one.
But they just veto them because, and it's not like a valid reason. So now I have to have a valid reason for me to go and approve those trades.
Which has helped. It's helped me out dramatically because here's the thing: is everyone vetoed my trades because I am public enemy number one. But you made a good, valid point though. You're like everyone vetoes Marcus's trades, but then everyone trades with Marcus.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. It's the one thing that I hate about fantasy in that league is it doesn't make sense. Like they're like, oh, Marcus, you're such a bad guy. You do this, but then everybody wants to trade with you, and they know what they're getting into. And that's like you and I will talk trades all day, but I will not do it. I most likely will not do it, or will ever do it, because I know what's going on, and we just do it to hear each other out, just to see how it's going to go.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we do. It's almost like practice.
Yeah, exactly. Marcus and I probably send each other 3 to 4 trade offers, like in terms of speaking about it a day. It seems like, and it's always like
we're always talking about it. And he's like, we'll never trade each other.
One thing that's fair at 10 a.m. will not be fair at 3 p.m. the same fucking day.
News comes out. Oh, Chase Brown's injured.
I was like,
or Zach Moss is injured. I'm like, I don't know.
Like the Travis Etienne for Zach Moss and Rico Dowdle. Oh, that's pretty fair. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, all right, let's do it. And Marcus is like, hold your horses.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So that
would have actually been a pretty good trade, though. I will admit that it's
not going to happen. So too late for that now. Too late for it now.
You didn't want it to happen because here's the thing, Skinny. We both want to win the fucking trade. Let's be real. If we trade each other, we both want to be like, it's got to be what's the trade that I traded you? I traded Larry Fitzgerald for a player from you. Or you traded me Larry Fitzgerald and the player got hurt.
Dude,
this was like a long time ago. It's after that moment, me and you have not traded again.
Probably because
Chris Carson.
Oh, yeah, that probably makes sense.
Chris Carson, his rookie year, I traded you Chris Carson for Larry Fitzgerald and something else. And after that, Skinny swore, he's like, Marcus is the luckiest motherfucker. I will never trade him again.
Yeah,
and you really haven't.
Nope. Not going to do it. But moving on, we're going to cover 2 games last week. The Falcons beat the Bucks 36-30, OT win. Kirk throws for 509 yards. That's the Falcons. That's what the Falcons I thought would look like from the get-go. They're looking like the Falcons I thought. But the Bucks were just equally as good. It just the overtime rules are fucking lame in the NFL.
I agree. Well, in that game, you saw what you wanted to see from Kyle Pitts for the first time in years.
Yes.
You saw.
You wanted to see from Drake London. Yep.
Darnell Mooney is kind of
sneaky.
If you got him in anything, like him and Kirk look like they're on the same page. Actually, like he looks good. The only person that, and I mean, there's a reason I traded for him, but the only person that kind of is, you want to see more from Bijan Robinson. Him and Brees Hall at least showed you a couple 20-point games. Bijan's been consistent. It's been like 10 to 15 points, but you need more from Bijan Robinson.
I think the biggest thing for that though is their offensive line can't fucking run block. I like during that Bucks game, I kind of realized why he hasn't looked good on the ground, and I mean, even Kirk doesn't have a whole lot of time to throw the ball more often than not. Their line is still pretty bad. It's just unfortunately, I always say like this year, the Jets hate Brees Hall. The Jets offensive line hates Brees Hall, but loves Braylon Allen. Because every time Braylon Allen's in there, dude's getting fucking 5 yards of carry.
Same thing with Tyler Algier.
Yeah, doesn't factor in that, he's also bigger and probably, strong. Like, the dude broke a tackle for almost, what was it, like a minus
here's
3
why, Here's why I don't think that's right, though. Because Brees Hall can kind of fucking truck, man. Brees Hall is more of like a... He's scatty, but like Brees Hall can like lower his shoulders. So can Bijan though.
Yeah.
Bijan had to have been the most well-rounded running back.
Deep down, I think the offensive line just hates certain players. I know it's probably not true, but like you just see those things. It's like, why is it that whenever Braylon Allen runs the ball, he's getting 5 yards, but whenever you put in Brees Hall, he's getting
hit in the backfield.
Yeah. So
hitting the backfield is 100% on the offensive line. Like if you're a running back, you get hit in the backfield when you're running a dive or something like that. There's nothing you can do about that.
And then lastly, for the NFL news, of course, the Eagles are on a bye, so Vikings won 23-17 versus the Jets. That game should not have been that close for one, and that game should have been a fucking blowout from the get-go.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't watch part of the game because I was coming to our flag game, but it was
Sam Darnold. Here's my honest opinion about Sam Darnold. If you can keep a clean pocket, Sam Darnold is a top 10 quarterback. If you can't keep a clean pocket, Sam Darnold not so good.
Yeah.
He needs time to throw the ball. Now, granted, Minnesota has a top 10 offensive line, but also having Aaron Jones hurt doesn't help. Because he is, I will say something about Sam Darnold. He is probably the best play action quarterback in the NFL right now. He is really, really good at hiding that fake.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. The defense has kept us in games. Minnesota's defense has been awesome. In real life, they're turnover takeaway, and in fantasy, they're the number one defense in fantasy right now, by a large margin. I'd imagine.
Biggest thing with them is Aaron Jones being hurt, like you said, and they're on a bye, so he's got a week to recover. Hopefully, that gives him enough time to be back for Week 7. College news: a bunch of upsets in the college world. First off, Iowa State won 43-21 versus Baylor. Iowa State now is currently ranked 11, so they're creeping up there, still undefeated. The biggest thing is to consider is if they win the Big 12, they're probably the number 4 seed when it comes to college football playoff, which is fucking nuts to think about. But they still got to win it. I can't get my hopes up that high yet. They still got to play some big teams, but right now they're looking like BYU looking like the real powerhouses in the Big 12 this year.
Damn right, BYU Burrito Boys.
Number 25 Texas A&M defeats number 9 Mizzou. I call it an upset, even though Texas A&M was favored by 2.5 points. But you're ranked, big difference in ranking.
That's what we both took Texas last week, didn't we? Yeah.
SMU upsets number 22 Louisville. So sorry for your Louisville. Arkansas.
What are we doing?
Arkansas upsets number 4 Tennessee 19-14. Some of these top teams.
Kansas, dude.
Yeah.
You know why it is, Skinny? You want to know why this happens all the time?
Why?
NIL. 100% NIL. People are more focused on money than they are winning.
I don't know. Did you the
I do. I
Vanderbilt
do.
upset number one Bama 40-35, and I watched that
That
game,
was
and like
crazy.
everything that could go
I have
wrong.
Vandy, don't I?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know your
I think
team.
I have Vandy, so I was happy
Uh,
about Vandy.
Everything that could go wrong for Bama went wrong, pretty much. Just like they almost on a was it a kick return? Almost got called like a fumble in the red zone on the kick return after Vandy scored, but the guy was like just barely down. But there was a lot that just was not going right for Bama, and their defense was just they were burnt toast out there. Washington upsets number 10 Michigan 27-17, which again
God
Michigan.
damn it, Michigan. God damn you, Michigan.
Minnesota upsets number 11 USC 24-17, and
USC
then
sucks balls.
Syracuse upsets number 25 UNLV 44-41. So that's what happened in the college world. A lot of upsets. You love those though. That's what you live for in the college world. Bad betting. We went 3-1 last week. The only one that we didn't get, I think, was the Bills game. Because I think we had that beating the Texans. But did you just look behind you like the fucking...
Dude, I don't know what the hell there was. There's something white on my screen right here. I'm tripping out, dude.
Yeah, it was
I
the
was like,
thumbs up that you...
oh, it was a...
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And now the fireworks. Bad betting this week. We're going to go Bucks minus 3.5 versus the Saints. Saints might not have Derek Carr, so you bring in either an inexperienced or a rookie quarterback. I think the Bucks will be fine there. Texans minus 7 versus the Pats. Same thing. You bring in a rookie quarterback potentially with Drake. With Drake May actually starting. I don't think Drake May is no Jaden Daniels. We're going to take the Bengals minus 3.5 versus the Giants. The Bengals got to win at some point, and
Do they have to?
and it's now. And they look good offensively. I mean, that's the thing is their offense last week looked great, and their defense is what couldn't help them. And then the Falcons minus 6.5 versus the Panthers. After last Thursday, I think the Falcons' offense is finally clicking. Their defense is.
But you know what? This would be the game that screws us right here.
Yeah, of course. But I'll take 3-1 over 0-4, which we'll just slowly creep up there, one game at a time. If you wanted to parlay those four together, it would be for $10. It'd be about $133 payout. Again, those are subject to change because those odds might change a little bit by the time you listen to this, or even if you wait to post it. Some random topics. I have 2 this week. How many do you got?
0, but I'll make some up.
So my first one I have is, if you could change the price of one thing to $1, what would it be?
One thing.
Yep, one thing. You bought it. It's always $1.
For everyone or just me?
Everybody. Like, it's $1. Like, you walk into example, you walk into a grocery store
What the hell?
and a prime rib is $1 a pound. Everybody
You want me
gets
to help them? You want me to help America right now? Do you want me to save America? This one thing that I'm going to tell you, Skinny, will change the world.
all right.
Gas.
Yeah, probably be the smart one.
We do gas. Everything else will get cheaper. You better vote for Marcus Mary as president.
Or I guess oil in general, I think.
Yeah.
I found this somewhere, and so in the and the comment was, remember when oxygen used to be free? It's like, oh fuck, this dude's really gonna fuck people. Make you pay $1 to breathe. That'd be so.
Yeah,
fucked.
someone's gonna do it.
That would be so.
But
fucked.
yeah, gas. Gas would be $1.
Yeah, I think that's probably like the easiest go-to, or like gas, oil, your grocery cart, but I don't know how that would work. I don't know. Yeah, I think most
Everything that I touch turns into $1. That's
Everything-
$1.
everything.
That's $1.
Hi, hello.
Now I got to think of. Now I
Hunter's
got to
being
think
needy.
of one for you.
Yeah.
If you could only have one pet the rest of your life, it, what kind of breed of animal would it be? And what, like, if it's like a dog, what kind of dog? And
A
that's the only
dog.
dog you could have.
I'd probably have a German Shepherd.
Really? Why a
Yeah.
German Shepherd?
Well, you've met Dharma, and she's fucking loyal as shit to Courtney. So
Yeah, she fucking eat my face off,
yeah,
dude.
getting a dog like that's super fucking loyal. But like, she's also fairly a decent sized dog. She'll fuck you up if she gets you. So
Yeah,
I think that
that's
loyalty of a
fair.
dog, probably German Shepherd. Um, yeah, that's probably German Shepherd.
Okay.
Are you gonna get another blondie? Is that what you're thinking? Just
Blonders. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'd get another blondie. I kind of want if I get another. We will probably get another dog eventually because Blondie's getting kind of old, man. Not kind of old, but I mean she is though. She's putting up
4.
some age on there. Four's not that, dude. Four's halfway through life, man. You gotta think about it. She's fucking 50,
I
probably in
got
doggy
I got
years.
fucking 9-year-old dogs over here, and you're out here like, go lay down,
Okay, we're good.
go lay down. Yes, I love you. Go lay
All
down.
right, you got your next question for me?
It's not a question. It's just a random topic that I want to talk about. NCAA targeting rule. Fucking bullshit. Every week, I'm literally tweeting out they need to fucking change it. This last week, the Cyclones defender lowered down, right? He got in a tackling formation position. The wide receiver was kind of like dove for the ball type thing, like fell for it, and they hit like he was bracing for impact. Like he wasn't going to make the tackle. He was just kind of like ready to hit the guy if he had to, but like more of just like a brace for impact type thing. Hits the wide receiver just enough. They call targeting. What the fuck? He didn't project. He didn't like lean with it. Like he wasn't head hunting. Like anything. He literally stood there waiting for this guy to fall down so he could just hit him and take him to the ground. But yet, a dude jumped, projected his fucking body, and took out a quarterback in the head. Nothing. Not a fucking single flag. I fucking hate the targeting rule in the NCAA. It's such goddamn bullshit. It's so fucking annoying.
Such.
It ruins games. It ruins games. It's the softest fucking call in the world. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Skinny's getting pissed. Skinny's getting pissed.
It's so annoying. Now this defender who is bracing himself for impact, not shooting at the defender, not trying to purposely go and injure the guy, not even trying to tackle him, like actually go and actively go and tackle him. He was just bracing for impact. Now can't play the first half of this game coming up. Like it's shit like that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. It ruins the game. As a defender, what are you supposed to do? A player is falling down to catch the ball. You're also, as a DB, trying to play the ball to potentially tip it down or whatever. And you can't help that the ball was thrown low, so you're going downwards to go and do that. It's not it's so fucking annoying. Every week, I'm pretty sure I'm tweeting about it because it just ruins
It boils
games.
your blood.
It does. It's a 15-yard fucking penalty or whatever, and then you get ejections and shit like that. It's just so fucking annoying to see that they need to change it to almost like more of like how the NBA does like a flagrant foul where it's like a 1 or a 2 if it's intended, if it's not intended, if it's like a malicious act, if it's actually not, like if a guy is leaving the ground while you're up in the air and just going straight in, with the head and everything, that's pretty malicious to me. Like, you're looking to fuck somebody up. While, if you're just getting ready to lower into an impact and you're not projecting, you're not doing anything else like that, how the fuck are you going to call it targeting and kick a guy out for that? Like, they're just playing defense.
Targeting in general, it's such a dumb rule. Like, I wish you could hit someone in football again, like make football great again and hit people. And like, here's the thing: unless you're hitting the head, fine. You want to be safe with that, that's
Like
fine. But like, once you just hit them, like a defenseless receiver thing, that's such bullshit.
if
That's
you're
not a
if
rule.
you're if you're a defender and you're lowering your head down like this, and you're looking to make contact at a malicious, like just a hard hit, whatever. Like you're basically not caring for yourself or the other person, and you're going straight for their head with your head or whatever. Yeah, sure, great. That probably is not smart for both parties. But if you're lowering to get in a tackle formation and the wide receiver's falling down, you you don't know where they're going to land. You have no
Well, it's the
idea what
same
they're.
thing with the hip drop
Yeah,
tackle.
which I'm
Like
surprised they
that,
have. Which I'm surprised we have not seen a whole lot of those called.
you can't because you can't tell. It looks like a regular tackle. It's what a
Yeah,
tackle is.
because most of them, like throughout the weeks, I was seeing videos of them happening and no calls. I'm like, wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. I thought the NFL would have been flag, 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 the way they are with illegal formation and fucking false starts on offensive tackles this year.
Alrighty, I got a good question for you. It's going to be a spicy question.
Oh,
Are you ready
jeez.
for a spicy question?
Yeah.
No, non-football related at all. Would you rather be a God? I don't know if I should ask this question. Would you rather be a teenage skinny? Would you rather be at a P Diddy party, or would you rather be hanging out with Dan Schneider?
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
There's no good answer.
There isn't a good answer. Uh, like, am I hanging out with Dan Snyder, like, one-on-one? Like, there's nobody else? Or, like,
You're at Dan Schneider's house, man.
I'm gonna guess in that circumstance, I'm not. We're pretty much alone and secluded. I'll go to a P Diddy party because at least there's.
But do you think at least say it's you? We'll say you're bigger, but not like full. Like you're 14, 14-year-old skinny. Can you fight off Dan Schneider? Or can you fight off P Diddy? That's what it comes down to.
I feel like I could probably fight off both at that time. But
Yeah, that's fair.
P Diddy parties had like other celebrities at least. Like it's not like I'm at this house alone about to get. Yeah.
Get yes,
Yeah. I'm not. We don't need to go into
not saying
detail.
YouTube, but yeah.
Yeah. I'll go P Diddy parties just because there would actually be like more people there. So like maybe I don't.
That's terrible.
Maybe I don't get
They're both-
Maybe I don't see the baby oil. Maybe I avoid that because
He might not see the baby oil. Here's the thing, though. I'm gonna beat the shit out of Dan Schneider. I like my odds against Dan Schneider. I feel like I could fucking beat the shit out of that fat piece of shit, man. Like let's be
Yeah,
real. Like, Dan Schneider. He's like, hey, Miranda Cosgrove, let's see your freaking feet. Plus, I don't know if Dan Schneider was into boys, so to be fair, but who knows? P Diddy allegedly was.
Yeah, I guess if fuck yeah. I don't know. I could fight off.
Terrible situation.
You're asking.
That's what I say. All these people need to rot in a jail cell. They're terrible people.
P Diddy party. I'm bringing the baby oil. All right.
Skinny's bringing the baby oil. Bend over, P Diddy.
You know, P Diddy. I was gonna have Courtney go as P Diddy for Halloween, and then I was gonna oil myself up in a bunch of baby oil. But like, probably like wear like shorts and like a tank top, but like just lather myself up. And I asked my sister if that's too soon, and she said yes. So I went a different route.
Maggie wasn't a fan.
Wasn't a fan. But all right, moving on to the next segment. We got surprises through week 5. So we both did 3 surprises through week 5, fantasy or just regular NFL. With that, Marcus, why don't you just go ahead with your first surprise through week 5?
Let's just start it off on a high note. Minnesota Vikings starting at 5-0. I don't think anyone saw this. They had probably the top hardest schedule in all of the NFL, and to come out and go 5-0 against, some legitimate competition. The Packers are no pushovers. The 49ers are a good team. The Texans are a good team, and then the Jets are also a very solid team. The only team that we probably should have won against was the Giants, but Minnesota came out swinging at everyone.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty proud of this franchise right now. Or pretty proud of the coaching staff, not the franchise. Can't be proud of the franchise, but you have people like Sam Darnold playing out of his mind. JJ's looked good. The defense has been solid. Andrew Van Ginkel. It looks like the Dolphins made a mistake.
Hmm.
Whatever we signed him to, he probably deserves $10 million more a year. He's been playing out of his freaking mind. Two pick sixes. Like, I don't know. I think the defense has been way better than. I mean, it's like Mike Zimmer era football
Yeah.
with a good offense.
Well, you guys went through those, a death and an injury and your DBs, so
Yep.
that
They
was
had a
going to be a
lot
little
of, yep.
limited. And
I
Dallas
mean, this was
Turner's,
the year that JJ McCarthy was going to
yeah,
play,
gets
probably.
injured. Dallas Turner was injured for a couple games. I don't know if he still is or not. So like your top draft pick hasn't been playing a whole lot, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's been very impressive. The last team to go 5-0 and not make it to the playoffs was the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see if that happens again.
2016, I was there. So we went 5-0, and then we lost and only won three more games. So I'm hoping it's not a Sam Bradford year. It could be. I'm going to knock on wood because it's. I've thought about that. By the way, I've thought about that
I
multiple
think every
times. About that.
Minnesota Vikings fan is thinking about that season.
I think the difference though with this team than it was then is
You have Justin
that
Jefferson
year
for one.
they have Justin Jefferson. That year, Adrian Peterson was hurt, I believe. So I think AP was out. Teddy Bridgewater got was he out? Yeah, I think he was out the whole season. He got hurt week one. Then, I don't know. I can't remember what happened that year. What happened that year? Was Adrian Peterson playing with Sam Bradford? Because I know that we traded. Teddy Bridgewater got hurt for the whole
Yeah,
season
AP played 3 games.
and got hurt.
Yeah.
But in his 3 games, he did jack shit, right?
Yeah, he had 72 rushing yards.
Okay. So he got hurt, and then I think we wrote on Jerick McKinnon.
Yep, and Matt Asiata.
Oh, that's a Matt Asiata, Jerick McKinnon year. Okay. So Matt Asiata had 10 touchdowns that year, probably, I think. I think he was our touchdown machine, and then
He
Jerick
had
McKinnon
6
was running.
rushing and 0 receiving.
Oh, so 6 rushing. Oh, well. He was kind of a touchdown machine for no reason whatsoever. But I forgot Matt Asiata. That's a fun name to. That's a throwback.
Kyle Rudolph had 7 touchdowns that year.
Well, I think that's the year that I think that's the first year. That's the Adam Thielen year where he had his first 1,000 yard season, or close to it, maybe 1,000. I
Um,
think it was his first 1,000.
he had 967.
Oh, so it was his first year. So next year he had 1,000 or whatever.
And Diggs
But
had
I mean,
9.
they were doing good
Yeah. Yeah.
because we traded a first round pick for Sam Bradford. Wasn't our best move,
Yeah.
but I do remember that year. The defense was really good, rode us really well. I think this team is a better team. The offense is better. JJ's looking good. We're about to get TJ Hawkinson back. Have Addison's had his moments this year. Like I feel like this team could be legitimate, you know, contender. Are we Super Bowl contender? We'll see. We'll see what this team ends up doing, but I think we look good and we're winning games. And as long as Sam Bradford or Sam Darnold keeps playing pretty well, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think your over under for wins was like 6.5 coming into the season, so you guys are literally 2 away from hitting that mark. My first surprise through week 5 is Nico Collins leading the league in receiving yards at 567. The biggest surprise to that was adding Stephon Diggs. Did not expect Nico to still be producing at the rate that he was last year. I thought because of how deep that wide receiver room was, there was going to be a little bit of, not saying like Nico's bad or anything, but I thought it would be a little bit more spread out. Like,
Hey, thank God that he's on injured. I mean, don't thank God. But in case of my bet against that guy that I said Nico Collins or Stephon Diggs will lead Nico Collins
Yeah.
and what's this?
Yeah. Right now
Those
you
are my
got
favorites.
4 weeks for Stephon Diggs to take a big lead over that. Catch up
Minimum
in
4 weeks, maybe
yeah.
longer. Who knows?
Yeah, catch up. Yeah, I just felt like
Tank Dell's just gonna go off.
yeah, I just felt like yeah, I just felt like with Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and then you have like Mechie, you have Hutchinson, you
Yeah.
had Schultz. Like you just had a very deep, and then Joe Mixon, even though he's out, Cam Akers, like you
Who
just had
hasn't played since week 1.
you've had a
so,
lot of people to feed the ball to,
Yeah.
and I just did not expect a Texan to be leading the league.
And Diggs, to his credit, has been good.
Yeah,
He's played really well. It's just been different. He's got a lot of catches for not a lot of yards.
yeah,
a
and
lot of
Nico
touchdowns.
Collins has a lot of those deeper
Catches for a lot of yards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's been
So-
killing it.
Yeah, Nico Collins, unfortunately,
agree.
with being on IR, that's going to change probably here in the next week or two. But yeah, to be almost to 5 weeks in and top of the league, very surprised.
Well, to the inverse of the Vikings, the Bengals 0-5 start. I did not see that. I think the Bengals are. I still think the Bengals offense is really good. The defense is bad, but Joe Burrow has for his wrist injury that everyone was like, oh, he can't play. He looks phenomenal. He has been lighting it up. Chase looks good. Freaking T. Higgins looks good. Their backfield. I mean, I don't care that much about Zach Moss. I think he's a backup running back, an average running back at best. But Chase Brown, man, he's got some freaking juice in him. It kind of reminds me of a Zeke Tony Pollard thing going on there, where you got thunder and lightning in there.
Mhm.
So that team to be 0-5 is just blasphemy to me.
Yeah, 0-2, 0-3. We've seen it before, but 0-5, yeah, it's crazy.
That's gonna be hard to come back from.
It is, and they're gonna move it in the right way this week.
Hopefully.
This week, my next surprise is the Broncos being 3-2.
Yeah.
The way that how bad they've looked, does not amount to be having a winning record. They beat the Bucks, Jets, and Raiders, which all three teams I think were favored to beat them. They have a rookie QB who Bo Nix, the first couple games, looked
awful.
off. Like, is Bo Nix even ready for is what people were saying about Bo Nix true? He's
Bo
gotten
Nix
better.
is the second coming of Cam Newton, dude.
Now
You
he's-
see how that boy runs
Yeah,
and scores touchdowns.
now he looks better.
rushing touchdowns.
They're bottom 5 in total offensive yards, so it's not pretty. It's not.
No.
But what's saving them is their defense. Their defense is playing
Yeah.
well above and beyond what expectations were. Right now, they're top 5 in yards allowed and points allowed. So they're keeping games low scoring, not allowing a lot of offensive yardage for the offenses. I imagine that might change here a little bit as they start playing some other bigger teams. And unless Bo Nix takes a huge leap and playing a lot better, I just 3-2 right now is a little bit of a live it up while you can, Broncos fans.
I agree. Mine is the Jets' offensive woes. First of all, everyone was big on Garrett Wilson. Everyone was big on Breece Hall, and everyone loves Aaron Rodgers. I thought that this team was going to look way better than they do. The fact that it took 23 targets to get Garrett Wilson 29 points is just crazy. Like 29 targets, you think Garrett Wilson would be 50 points. I think people look at the 29 like that's good. 23 targets,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
No, 29 points.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah.
23 targets. That's ridiculous. This offense has a ways, and I mean a ways to go. They just got to figure something out. Rodgers looks terrible. Offensive line looks terrible, which should be better on paper. Breece Hall looks terrible. Looks like he has no juice or no burst, even though last year he looked like one of the best running backs in the league. With no one, that's with everyone keying in on him. Hardcore keying in on him. I mean, more than Ramondre Stevenson being keyed in on him. I don't know. It's just this team. It's not looking good. I think that there are better days ahead, but for this team to look the way it does, it scares me a little bit. Shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. and again, it's one of those things where, like the Bengals, you don't have starters play preseason, and they look rough. The Bills looked phenomenal because they played in preseason. How they've looked the last two games is how I expected them to look from the get go. Like now things are settling in. I expected the Jets, and many of us expected the Jets to take off. But again, the division right now isn't a place for them to go and get, and still reasonable to win. So things should get better for them, just like the Bengals. And it's not like Rodgers is looking terrible. It's just a lot of those miscues with his receivers, and that offensive line has not been performing like they should be.
Nope.
My last surprise is the Commanders being 4-1. Jane Daniels, a lot of people are worried about him because they were worried he was going to be a run-first quarterback, didn't want to throw the ball, was going to take hits, all this. Complete opposite.
He's looked good.
He's done everything. He beat the Bengals, embarrassed the Cardinals and Browns. He has looked like he should have been the number one overall pick. Going to the Bears, who knows? Things playing out different team, but right now, NFL ready. He was definitely the most NFL ready. Right now, that offense is top 5 in yards and number 1 in total points. So they are rolling, and pending injury, is that team going to even slow down? Their defense has been good enough to win games, like way better than I expected to. They have that really good front four.
That's with getting rid of Sweat and Chase.
Yeah, and you have Zach Ertz, older Zach Ertz, looking like a decent tight end again, and you have Terry McLaurin, and outside of that, you have guys that would be wide receiver 3s and people that were barely doing anything a year ago, helping you out. So
Naomi Brown, who was a former first-round pick.
Yeah, you got rid of Dotson. There was a lot of not high expectations, and right now
Luke McCaffrey
might be the ones to win the division, I think, at this rate, unless the Eagles get shit around.
Eagles got a long way to go, man.
Yeah.
Long way to go. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. You already did your 3. My bad. All right. Moving forward to pick'ems and predictions for weeks 6 and 7 in the NCAA and NFL. Last week for college, you and I both went 3-0, and Austin went 2-1.
Because he sucks.
Yeah. So this week we have number 2. These are some good games this week. We have number 2 Ohio State versus number 3 Oregon.
Oh, that's a hard one. Give me Oregon.
Yeah, Ohio State's favored by 3, but it's in Oregon, so I feel like...
Give me Oregon.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm taking Oregon. I'm an Oregon fan. Going to go with Oregon. Number 1 Texas plays number 18 Oklahoma. Texas is favored by 14.5.
Give me Texas.
I will be also taking Texas. Number 9 Ole Miss plays number 13 LSU. Ole Miss is favored by 3.5.
Give me LSU. I don't like it, but give me LSU.
I'm going to take Ole Miss. I kind of wanted to take LSU, but actually, you know what? No, I'm going to take LSU. They're at home. I'm going to trust that a little bit. Trust that home field advantage. All right, and then for the Iowa teams, we got number 11 Iowa State plays West Virginia. Iowa State is favored by 3. This is a trap game, 100%.
I know,
but I'm still taking this.
Give me West Virginia, because I feel like it is a trap game.
Yeah, it is, but I am 100% taking Iowa State, and then not ranked, but they're an Iowa team, so we're gonna support them. Iowa plays Washington in Washington, I believe. Iowa is favored by 2.5.
Give me Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Washington. I listening to the radio, and I thought this was a crazy fact because Cade McNamara used to be Michigan's quarterback, was a stellar guy. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass versus a non-Power 5 team or whatever, like a top team, since like 2021 or some shit like that. I know he was injured for a year, but that's fucking nuts for how long it's been since you've thrown a play, like who you play and everything. So, plus Washington's looked a little impressive, especially against Michigan.
He's no Ricky Stancy.
No Ricky Stancy. Well, and right now it's, do they even stay with McNamara with the way he's been playing? It's not been great. But yeah, they're getting on. So we have 5 games for College World this week. And then
what was our record in college?
We're both 14-8 in the college pick'ems.
Not doing so good. What are we doing for our pick'em?
NFL pick'ems. Austin went 9-5 last week. Last week you went 8-6. I went 7-7. So currently I'm 43-35. You are 51-27.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, you're about. Yeah, we're both over.
On what?
Least. You're like almost double, but we're pretty close. But all right, let's do these pick'ems.
Okay, Thursday, week 10 or week 6. San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Give me the 49ers.
Give me the 12th man of the 49ers.
Yeah.
Give me the 49ers.
October 13th. Sunday, October 13th. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Chicago Bears. I am taking the Bears. The Bears defense looks legit. Caleb Williams has looked better, and whatever's happened in Jacksonville, like, did I see that there's a fight with fucking what's-his-face on the sideline? Trevor Lawrence, and I don't like what's happened in Jacksonville. I feel like Trevor Lawrence, they give him the money, it doesn't look good. Oh, yeah.
London game. Jacksonville is away, but really it's like Jacksonville's second home. What are we talking about?
They have 2 London games in a row, too.
Give me Jacksonville. Give me Jacksonville.
Bears are going to stop the streak. I'm saying it right now.
All right.
The Arizona Cardinals versus the Green Bay Packers. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, give me the Packers at home. I wanted to take the Cardinals, but give me Packers.
Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans. Well, if it was Joe Flacco, it'd be a lot easier of a pick. But since he's not in there, Anthony Richardson, who great fantasy quarterback, terrible NFL quarterback. I still think that this is a get-right game. I think the Tennessee Titans are a top 5 worst team in the NFL. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, like you said, if Joe Flacco was for sure playing, I'd be like, hell yeah, Indianapolis Colts, let's go all day. I'm still taking the Colts. It's not going to be pretty, but the Colts will pan it out.
No, it's going to be an ugly game. The Houston Texans versus the New England Patriots. Give me the Texans.
Yep.
By far. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Give me the Bucs. Give me the Bucs.
I am also taking Baker Mayfield in the Tampa Bay. Especially, they got to win this. You know, you're about to have a hurricane hit your home. You gotta give your hometown something to believe in this weekend while they're all crying over their houses being destroyed.
It's true. The Cleveland Browns versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So this game, I'm going to say it right now. I said last week a lot of games were trap games, and I was right. It was a terrible trap game week. I think Philadelphia is going to win, but I'm not so sure about Philadelphia. This seems like a team that could drop to the Browns for some odd reason with how they're playing, but I'm going to still take the Eagles, but I just want to point that out there.
Give me the Eagles. I'm going to pick them every week.
Special teams, special players.
Special teams, special plays, special players. I'm going to take my Eagles, of course. I hope that bye week help get shit sorted out. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, healthy, come back. You know, let's get this ball rolling. Let's not lose another game. So for the rest of the year, let's go.
Yep. The Washington Commanders versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are going to beat the Commanders this week. That's the toughest matchup that they've come against. The Baltimore Ravens defense is legit, even though Joe Burrow sliced them and diced them up. But I think that the Ravens are going to show them what a top 5 caliber team is like in the NFL.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick the Commanders, but
it's a fun pick. But
Baltimore has, besides the Chiefs, have stepped. I mean, they even played the Chiefs.
Oh
no, what?
Oh no, next one. I lied to you. What I picked.
Oh really?
Yeah, I actually picked the Chargers against the Broncos.
Okay. Well, I picked Baltimore too. And then I picked the Chargers over Denver.
We're making sure we're okay. The next one is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Los Vegas Raiders.
Marcus is drunk, guys.
I thought it was 5:00. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't like what's going on with the Raiders.
Yeah, give me Pittsburgh. You're bringing in Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell didn't look great. Give me Pittsburgh.
Just throw it to Brock Bowers. That's all I care about. The Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. Give me the Lions, man. Cowboys have looked terrible this year.
Yeah, you won last week barely. You lost your 2 studs on defense. They might be back one of them might be back this week. I don't know. I don't think he makes that big of an impact against a Detroit team that's just star-studded. Give me Detroit by 1 million.
Yeah. Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers. Give me Atlanta.
Yep, Atlanta. After last week, I think Atlanta's offensively not going to slow down now.
The Cincinnati Bengals versus the New York Giants.
Give me the Bengals. They're going to win one finally. Sunday Night Football. Joe Burrow is going to look like Joe Cool once again. And, yeah.
And then this next one, Monday Night Football, Buffalo versus Jets. Okay. I picked Buffalo. I kind of want to change it to the Jets.
I chose the Jets. This is such a tough one because both teams have looked like ass. But I feel like the Jets have more to pull it off to win. Like on the offensive side, on the defensive side, I just think that there's more there. If they could just get all clicking, they could win this game.
I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to switch my pick because I feel like you fire a coach. A lot of teams come in fired up and wanting to prove that they're still a good team. So give me the Jets.
I have 10 away teams winning this week.
I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
That's a lot of away teams winning, which is kind of worries. When I do this pick'em sometimes. I like when this shit happens. I'm like, all right, I need to switch some of these over because I'm like, this is way too high. There's no way that
it happens though.
I know,
a lot more
but
than you think.
It's just like it's like when you're doing a test and it's like all of a sudden you get like B, and it's like, how the fuck are all these B? These should not. I need to go change this one to a C just to make me feel like even though it's probably the right answer. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. 10. It could have been 11 if I picked Buffalo, but
I almost did pick Buffalo, but I'm like, no.
Yeah, well,
I wanted Buffalo, but I just feel like this is a Jets win. But we'll see.
Take that. This week we have our first playoff game on Sunday. We win that. We play that at 11. Win that,
and we'll have a Tuesday playoff game before we have our next one.
Yeah, I won't be at that.
Marcus hurt Marcus's knee is still hurt, so
yeah, we'll see how that brace does for you. Because like Sunday, it won't be that big of an issue. We play the 8 seed, so like if if you're not feeling right or whatever, it's not like you have to play, or those type of things. Like, you can come out and just take care of your knee, because we'll need you most likely for the following week for sure. We potentially play 2 games.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know.
All right,
we're getting jerseys too, so that'll be
get
cool.
new jerseys. Yeah, it'll be cool.
Have you seen that? Oh yeah, you've seen the Tuesday jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Have you worn the Tuesday jerseys?
No, because it didn't fit. A 2X was like a fucking small on me. It was, so I told him to get me like a 4X just to make sure it potentially even fucking fits me.
I should have got a extra large instead of a large, but it'll be okay. It gives me an excuse to lose some weight.
DJ was wearing a 2X, and that fit him perfectly. Like, that's how tight these fucking jerseys are. They're goddamn Chinese jersey sizes or something, but...
Chinese jerseys. It's true.
All right. Follow us on the X, the Instagram, the YouTube, the Spotify.
Anywhere you get your podcast.
Not anywhere, because we're not everywhere. Again, for the millionth time, we're not everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Follow us on the TikTok.
We're everywhere, nowhere.
Whatever. But cheers. Next week.
Like and subscribe, my friends.